What if the Big Bang never happened? Today, we're going to explore a thought experiment from physics that's both fascinating and a bit terrifying. What if the Big Bang never happened? What if everything we know about the origin of our universe is wrong? The universe, as we understand it, began with a tremendous explosion, the Big Bang. All matter was compressed into an unimaginably small point. And then, in a fraction of a second, it expanded and cooled, forming the galaxies, stars and planets we see today. But what if this wasn't how the universe began? What if the Big Bang never happened? If you're ready to dive into a mind-bending exploration of our existence, keep watching. The idea that the Big Bang might not have happened goes against the prevailing cosmological model known as the Big Bang theory. This theory is supported by a wealth of evidence, including the redshift of distant galaxies, the abundance of light elements, and the cosmic microwave background radiation. However, some physicists have proposed alternative theories, and one of them suggests that our universe has always existed and will continue to exist forever. In this scenario, the universe is in a state of dynamic equilibrium, constantly creating new matter and energy to maintain its size and shape. In other words, the universe has no beginning and no end. But this raises a crucial question. If the universe has always existed, what caused it to start in the first place? And if it's infinite, why do we only observe a finite part of it? These questions are still being debated by scientists, but they haven't been able to come up with a definitive answer yet. One intriguing possibility is that our universe is just a tiny part of a much larger multiverse. In this case, the Big Bang may have occurred in other parts of the multiverse, leading to the creation of multiple universes, each with its own unique physical laws and constants. This idea is still highly speculative, but it's an interesting way to think about the possibility of multiple universes. Now, let's talk about the implications of a universe without a Big Bang. If the universe has always existed, what does that mean for our planet and our place in the cosmos? According to the steady-state theory, the universe must be infinite. If it were finite, then it would require a beginning or an end. But since neither of these options are possible in a universe without a Big Bang, the only remaining possibility is infinity. This idea might sound strange to us because we live in a finite world with clearly defined boundaries. But from a scientific perspective, an infinite universe makes more sense than one that began with a bang. It also means that Earth is just one of many planets scattered throughout the infinite expanse of space. There could be countless other planets, each with its own unique set of conditions and potentially hosting life forms vastly different from anything we can imagine. However, this raises another question. If the universe is infinite and time has no beginning, how do we account for the fact that life seems to have begun on Earth at a specific moment? Is the emergence of life simply a matter of chance, or is there some deeper order to the universe that we're not yet aware of? Scientists are still trying to answer these questions, but the mystery only adds to the wonder of our existence. Think about it. We're here on this tiny blue, hurtling through space at incredible speed, all because of a series of incredibly unlikely events that took place billions of years ago. But if the Big Bang never happened and our universe is infinite, does that mean that our existence is merely a fluke? Are we just lucky to be alive in this tiny window of time and space where conditions are suitable for life? Or is there some deeper purpose to our existence that we haven't yet discovered? These are profound questions that have kept philosophers and theologians busy for centuries. But perhaps the most important question of all is, what if the Big Bang never happened? What if everything we know about the universe is wrong? How would this change our understanding of science, time, and even humanity itself? To answer this question, we need to look at the evidence that's led scientists to believe that the Big Bang did happen. One of the key pieces of evidence for the Big Bang theory is the cosmic microwave background radiation, often referred to as the echo of the Big Bang. This radiation is a faint glow that permeates the entire universe and is believed to have been emitted when the universe was just 400,000 years old. According to the Big Bang theory, as the universe expanded and cooled, this radiation stretched out, becoming microwaves. But what if there's no Big Bang? What would this mean for the cosmic microwave background? But here's the kicker. If there's no Big Bang, what's lighting up the cosmic microwave background? It would suggest that something else is at play, some unknown phenomenon that we don't yet understand. It could mean that our current understanding of physics is incomplete, and that there are laws of nature that we haven't discovered yet. Another piece of evidence for the Big Bang theory is the abundance of light elements such as hydrogen and helium. According to the theory, these elements were created in the first few minutes after the Big Bang, when protons and neutrons came together to form atomic nuclei. But if there's no Big Bang, how were these elements formed? Would it suggest that the universe didn't start out in a hot, dense state? Still, some physicists argue that these questions can be answered if we assume that the universe has always existed in a state of dynamic equilibrium, constantly creating new matter and energy. This idea challenges our intuitive understanding of the universe, which is shaped by our experiences in everyday life. We're used to things changing over time, but the idea of a universe that never changes is mind-boggling. Imagine galaxies that never form or fly apart, stars that never go supernova, and planets that never orbit their suns. It would be a universe devoid of movement and change, a static picture instead of a dynamic movie. So how could we even exist in a static void like this? But wait, some physicists say this isn't just a theory. It might be real. They point to observations of distant galaxies that seem to contradict the Big Bang theory. For example, some galaxies appear to be too large and too bright for their age, suggesting that they're evolving faster than expected. Others seem to be too numerous, implying that the universe expanded faster than predicted. Could these observations be evidence of a universe that doesn't follow the rules of the Big Bang? Now let's take a step back and consider what it would mean if the Big Bang never happened. What would it tell us about the nature of our existence? If the Big Bang theory is wrong, it would mean that we owe our very existence to a single cosmic spark, a moment of creation that gave rise to everything we know. Without that spark, there would be no stars, no galaxies, no planets, and most importantly, no life. It would mean that our existence is a fluke, a cosmic accident that occurred by pure chance. And if that's the case, it raises profound questions about the meaning of life and our place in the universe. Why does anything exist at all? Why did the universe begin in the first place? Are we truly alone in this vast expanse? Until recently, these questions would have seemed far-fetched and out of bounds for scientific inquiry. But now that physicists are exploring the possibility of a universe without a Big Bang, we're starting to uncover evidence that could rewrite the story of our existence. According to a recent study by two French researchers, the low temperature of the cosmic microwave background may be evidence that our universe never had a beginning. Instead, it could have always existed in a state of dynamic equilibrium. This idea is based on the observation that the temperature of the cosmic microwave background is incredibly uniform, varying by only a few degrees across the entire sky. If the universe had a beginning, it's hard to explain how this uniformity could have arisen. But if the universe has always existed, the explanation is straightforward. The universe is constantly creating new matter and energy, which ensures that any variations in temperature or density are quickly smoothed out. Of course, this isn't the only evidence that's been cited as support for a universe without a Big Bang. Other studies have pointed to the large-scale structure of the universe, which appears to be smoother than expected if the Big Bang theory is correct. But perhaps the most intriguing evidence comes from particle physics. Some experiments have shown that the properties of subatomic particles may not be constant, but vary slightly over time. If this is true, it would imply that the laws of nature themselves are changing, which could be explained if the universe is in a state of dynamic equilibrium. However, despite this mounting evidence, the Big Bang theory remains the dominant explanation for the origin of our universe. Many scientists argue that the observations cited as evidence against the Big Bang could be explained by tweaking the theory rather than abandoning it altogether. They propose that the universe may have gone through a period of accelerated expansion in the first few seconds after the Big Bang, which would account for the observed features of the cosmic microwave background and the large-scale structure of the universe. So the question remains, what if the Big Bang never happened? While it's impossible to prove or disprove the possibility of a universe without a Big Bang, it's clear that our understanding of the cosmos is constantly evolving. What seems impossible today may become reality tomorrow. The universe never ceases to amaze us. So next time you look up at the night sky, remember that what you see is just a tiny part of a much larger whole, a tiny part of a much larger whole. And our existence, while seemingly insignificant in the grand scheme of things, is actually a miracle of cosmic proportions. We hope you enjoyed this thought-provoking journey into the unknown. Don't forget to stay tuned for more videos that challenge your perception of reality and expand your understanding of the universe. Together, let's continue to explore the mysteries of the cosmos and the wonders of our existence.